Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hopeful, and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome. Hi, friends, and welcome back to Hopeful and Wholesome. And this is another episode in our series about getting ready for 2025 and aligning and refining. And I'm excited bringing this episode because today we are talking about your beliefs and rewiring your brain. So with the new year upon us, we're looking forward to 2025. This is a perfect time to reflect on what's holding us back and really step into the energy of possibility. And that's really what I love about a new year. It's just this energy of newness, right? Of what's possible, of just imagining what's possible with the whole new year ahead of us. So today's episode is all about mindset, specifically the limiting beliefs that might be keeping you stuck as you try to make changes or set goals or intentions for the year ahead. Now, I'm not one for New Year's resolutions per se, but I do like to set intentions and goals for the new year. So that's kind of the energy that we're bringing into this episode. I want to explore how to identify limiting beliefs, and I'm going to teach you some really powerful EFT techniques. EFT is emotional freedom technique. Years ago, I would say years ago, because it really was one of the first few dozen episodes that I did. I had an episode with a guest talking about EFT, but I'm bringing this into this conversation as now I am an EFT practitioner to really teach you how you can implement this in real time. And I have a little special gift that I'm really excited to bring you, and I'll have it in the show notes. But it's going to have some recorded EFTs so you can watch. I'm going to talk you through one here in this episode, but the little freebie and little gift I have for you, there's a video that you can watch, and there's a couple in there. So anyway, I'm going to bring that to you just to bring these techniques, and I'm going to explain what it is, but I'm going to guide you through a practice to shift your mindset so that you can really truly step into the best version of yourself in 2025. And I really honestly hate that term, like step into the best version of yourself, but that's really what it is. And whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it your higher self, your best self, your better version, like whatever. And I say that the reason I hate this, let me just say this. The reason that I really don't love the whole term, like the best version of yourself, is it insinuates that the version of you right now is not good. And I don't want that to be the case. But I do think that all of us are here as human beings to constantly evolve and get better, right? The version of you now is fantastic, but there's also better versions of you as you evolve and you grow emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? All of these things are part of our growth, and that's how we become an even better version of ourselves. So this isn't to insinuate that the version of you now is bad or wrong, because it's not. But there are opportunities for us to grow and evolve, become even better. And that's what this is about. So this episode is going to be packed with a lot of tools that you can take action on, and then just kind of this fresh New Year's focus. So grab a journal, get ready to take notes, or listen to it now. You can always come back later and take notes. And don't forget, at the end, you'll be able to download my freebie and you'll have some more practices for you to do. So let's first start by understanding what limiting beliefs are and why addressing them now at the start of a new year, I guess, into the new year, end of a year, starting a new year, can make such a huge difference. So limiting beliefs are these deeply held thoughts or perceptions that can create barriers to what you believe is possible for yourself, right? That's really what a limiting belief is. And this can really sabotage any intentions or goals or New Year's resolutions, if you like to set those for yourself, and keep you stuck in patterns that really don't serve you. And so I think the new year is such a great time, or like end of a year, starting a new year is such a great time to address these. A lot of us set goals with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, but then by February, right, the old beliefs creep in like, well, I've never been consistent before. Why is this year going to be any different? I don't have what it takes to follow through, or I'm not worthy of this goal. I just decided now I'm not worthy. Like I can't work that hard to get blah, blah, all the thoughts, the old beliefs creep in. And so identifying these thoughts now gives you the power to rewrite them and rewrite your story before they take over and completely sabotage anything that you have planned for a brand new, fresh new year, right? So take a minute here, just take a moment to reflect on any goals, intentions, resolutions, like whatever word you like to use for the new year. Like we all, and let me say this too. I think sometimes you don't say like, oh no, I don't do New Year's resolutions. But in your mind, you have intentions for the year, right? You do. You really do. So really think and reflect on it and ask yourself, what's a goal that you've set for this year that feels really important? What thoughts come up when you imagine achieving it? And it's really important, like visualizing and imagining, like to me, it's the same thing. Like this is important to seeing you achieve this, like to seeing your goal through. And you can look, I mean, there's studies and studies on this, right? You can look at professional athletes and um, even Hollywood stars, you see, you hear stories about them using visualization to achieve their goals, right? Visualization really does work. So if you can imagine it, what thoughts come up when you do imagine it? What thoughts do come up when you imagine actually achieving that goal or reaching that intention or whatever it is? Is there a fear, a doubt, a story that comes up, a story from the past that's telling you that it won't work, right? Are you measuring the possibility of your success? Are you measuring that by your past quote unquote failures, or right, or when it didn't work? So take a moment and think about that, or go back and journal on that. That's important. Now, let's talk about a few limiting beliefs. I want to mention three that often creep in during this kind of goal setting time, for the new year. We're setting intentions, we're setting goals, and how that might show up as you navigate the new year. Because as we know, like I said, we all set these goals and intentions with a lot of enthusiasm at the beginning of the year. But then as the year progresses and either like we're not seeing the progress we thought we would see, or it's not happening in the time frame we thought we would see it, or as fast as we want, our our confidence in achieving those starts to waver. And then that's when the thoughts and the stories start to creep in, right? These limiting beliefs. So let me just mention three specific ones. So first is, I'm not consistent enough to stick to this goal. And there could be any version of that. Like you may not specifically be saying, I'm not consistent enough to stick to this goal, but it might be some version of that. And it's the belief that keeps you focused on past failures instead of the possibility of growth. Right. And so you might be saying like, well, it's never worked before. That's another version of that. It's never worked before. This hasn't worked for me. This typically doesn't work for me. Right. It's you being focused on what's happened in the past instead of what could actually happen, like the possibility of what can happen in the future. It could show up as procrastination. It could show up as quitting early, like just giving up before you've given yourself a chance, or procrastination where it's like, well, I'll start next week kind of thing. And then you never actually do. Right. That's one. Number two, success isn't for people like me, right? This belief might also whisper things like, well, I've tried this before and it didn't work. Or other people are achieving big things, but I never do. Or it works for everybody else, but it doesn't work for me. Like raise your hand if you've ever said this to yourself before. I'm raising mine because I see it. I mean, this belief comes up a lot, especially when you have your own business, or you're in a position of leadership and you see other people doing things that either like you want to achieve, whatever. Like it's hard, right? You get into that comparisonitis, right? That pattern of comparison, and you're measuring your success off everybody else's success, and that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So you start to tell yourself these stories, and these limiting beliefs come in, like that sounds something like success isn't for people like me, or it doesn't work for me, or it's easy for other people, it's hard for me, right? All these stories come up around that. The third one I want to mention is it's too late for me to change. And I hear this one a lot in my world just because I work with women from all ages and all stages of life, some very young, some more mature in their age and in, menopause and postmenopause. And a lot of people think this, like, it's too late for me to change. Like, I can't do anything now, They think if they're menopausal, then they can't do anything to fix anything. Like, that's just not true, first of all, sis. Let me just tell you that. But it could be age, it could be past habits, circumstances, all of these things. These are the beliefs that keep you stuck in old patterns. So you could be saying it's too late for me. And it may not even be about age, but it could be like, I've been stuck in this pattern for too long. It's too late for me, right? I've lived this way for so long. It's too late for me. This is just how it is for me. Like, this is just life. And I hear that sometimes too, or a lot of times actually. Like, it just is how it is for me. Like, this is my life now. This is it. Like, you think it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late to change. This belief is going to keep you stuck in an old pattern, and it's going to keep you stuck. It's going to hold you back from that growth and evolution and actually living that super fulfilling, purposeful life that I know y'all are all here to live, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right? So let's challenge each of these beliefs with questions like, is this belief absolutely true? Like, is this an absolute truth? Which you know that it's not. Like, let's be honest. You might be telling yourself it is, but you know that it's not. It's not an absolute truth. So is this belief absolutely true? What evidence can I find that disproves this belief? And that's the thing. If you can find even the smallest inkling that disproves this belief, that's all the proof your subconscious needs to start to untangle this belief. It really can be that simple. So what evidence can I find that disproves this belief? And what could be possible for me if I let this belief go? Like, think about the possibilities. Forget your past experiences. Think about the possibilities. And when you think about the possibilities, you let your mind run free without attaching stories or any other beliefs to it. Like, let your mind run free and really think about the possibilities. And just think, if you're thinking like, I'm not consistent, like the one about I'm not consistent to stick to this goal, or like I've never stuck with the goal before. Remind yourself that today is a new day. Every day is a new day, and it's a new starting point. Every successful person had to start somewhere. It's consistency that builds over time. It's not about it working perfectly every single day, 365, right? It's not about that. It's being consistent over time and understanding and having the expectation, knowing, like setting expectations, like it's not a linear process. I think that's the other thing too. It's never linear because life is never linear, right? There's ups and downs and loop-de-loops and swivels and swirls, and it's all over the place. And that's exactly how it is with reaching your goals. So I think just setting the expectation up front that it's not going to be linear, and that when it's not linear, you're not going to let that deter you from sticking to these new beliefs that you're setting. You're not going to fall back into those old belief patterns, right? So now that we've identified the beliefs holding you back, you can rewire them with EFT. And I love EFT. EFT is emotional freedom technique. EFT is one of my favorite techniques and favorite tools for breaking free from limiting beliefs. EFT helps release old stories and replace them with new empowering stories, clears the mental clutter that often blocks us when we try to start fresh. And this is based on traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure points. And so essentially it's kind of a replacement for going to get acupuncture, because we're looking at specific acupressure points and we're tapping on those. And if you go to the downloads, I have a video to walk you through it, and I'm going to talk you through it in this episode. And you can do this like while you're driving. If you're listening to this driving in your car or going for a walk, you can do this like right now. Like, you don't have to be in like a quiet place, like a meditation. Like, you could literally do this anywhere, anytime. And if you watch the video, it might help you explain. If you're not exactly understanding what I'm saying, you just watch one of the videos and it'll explain it. But here's going to be, I'm going to walk you through kind of a step-by-step EFT practice for the new year. So first, I want you to identify a limiting belief about your goal or your ability to succeed. Okay, identify a limiting belief about that. And if you think you don't have one, then think harder, because we all do. And now I want you to rate the intensity of this belief on a scale of 1 to 10. And then we're going to tap on the following points and repeat the statement. So I'm going to explain where you're tapping and I'm going to say the statement. So you're first going to start on the side of your hand. So the side of your hand where, like on the outside of your pinky, on that side of your hand, we're going to start there, and you're tapping, and you're literally just using one hand and you're tap, 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 tapping. That's what you're doing. So we're tapping on the side of the hand and you're saying, even though I believe, insert the belief that you thought of, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay. Now we're going to go to the eyebrow point. You're going to go right up just next to your eyebrow, on the side of your eyebrow. And you're going to say this belief that insert your belief, how it makes you feel. Okay. We're going under the eye. So under the eye, we're tapping and you're saying it's safe to release this belief now. Now we're going to go under the eye. That was the side. Now we're going under the eye. Under the eye, where your little bone is, you're saying, I'm choosing a new belief now. Now we're going to go under the nose, right under your nose. And you're saying, I'm ready to create change this year. We're moving under the chin, tapping right at the chin, tap, 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 tapping your chin. I am capable of achieving my goals. We're moving down to the collarbone. So literally just tapping on one side of the collarbone. You're tap, 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 tapping on the collarbone. I am rewriting my story now. And then we're going to go to the top of the head. This year is my time for growth and success. Okay. So we just walked through the tapping points here. And you can repeat this sequence 2 to 3 times. And you can just repeat the same thing over and over again, right? You can repeat the same thing over and over again and tapping on the same points. And you might feel, and you'll feel how the intensity of the belief starts to shift. And so when you get done, you can go back and kind of go back to that intensity scale that I mentioned at the beginning and see how it started to shift. And you might feel like a lightness or like a kind of a load lift off of your shoulders or off your back. You feel how the energy starts to shift when you move through this, especially if you go through all the points a few times. Now, in the little gift that I have for you in the show notes, I have a couple different EFT tappings for you, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be obviously a longer version because I just gave you a super quick one right here. But just even this quick practice that I gave you right now can shift things. Like if you do this and really intentionally thinking about it, staying with the energy of it, you will feel how the intensity of the beliefs start to shift. And the step-by-step that I have in my little freebie below, it's a longer practice. And it's going to be, I say more intense, but I don't mean it. That's not really how I mean it, but I do mean intense. In fact, that it's just, there's more to it. More, maybe that's not the right word, but anyway. So, but I'm going to walk you through. So we start with like kind of the negative and we're like tapping on the negative, and then we get to the other side of that. And then we're tapping on the positive. So we're literally like going deep into that limiting belief and like how it makes us feel and the emotions attached to it. And then we're going to completely shift that and rewrite that in the positive. Like, and for me, like that's the power of EFT, because we're able to like feel into the depths of how this belief is making us feel, like the emotions that are attached to it, because that's what it is. It's literally, if you think emotional freedom technique, like we want to detach from the emotions that are attached to this belief. That's how we shift the belief. So go to the download. Like it really is a really powerful gift here, and the little mini program I have for you in the show notes. So go there. It's really going to be really powerful. So getting back to what we were talking about. Let's anchor in everything we've talked about, looking kind of with a little visualization and a journaling exercise. So first, let's visualize this just for a second. If you're driving, you don't have to close your eyes, or please don't close your eyes, but you can still visualize. You don't have to close your eyes to visualize. I want you to visualize this. Kind of clear your mind of any clutter and really go with me here. I want you to imagine, if you're in a place where you can't close your eyes, close your eyes. But imagine that it's December 31st, 2025. I want you to take yourself there. Picture yourself reflecting on the year, just like you're about to do here, right, very soon in this 2024 year. But I want you to picture yourself reflecting on the year 2025. You've achieved your goals. You've felt all the feelings associated with achieving that success that you wanted and reaching those goals and really accomplishing those things you wanted to accomplish. You feel proud. You feel fulfilled, right? I want you to feel those feelings, like curate those in your body. What steps did you take to get there? What did it take from you? Not like the specific, like step by step, this is how I reached, but what did it take from you? Like, who did you have to be? What did you have to become? What did you have to overcome? Right? How did you overcome the beliefs that once held you back? And I want you to really visualize that, and even encourage you to go back and journal on this and see where it takes you. Okay. Here's another little journaling prompt for you. Write down I encourage you to just go wild with this. Write down the limiting beliefs that you're leaving behind in 2024. What you're leaving behind, the beliefs about yourself, about your circumstances, about your life, about anything. Write down all the limiting beliefs you're leaving behind in 2024. And then rewrite them into affirmations for 2025. So, for example, if the limiting belief is, I'm not consistent enough, your affirmation is going to be, I show up for myself every day, building momentum with every small step I take, right? That's the affirmation. So you're writing down the limiting belief, rewrite them as an affirmation. Take time to do that. So once you've done this, you have your list of limiting beliefs, you have your affirmations that you've rewritten them into. Start your day with your affirmations. Write them on sticky notes, write them on a dry erase board at your desk. Keep them in your phone, like make them your background on your phone. Say them out loud during your morning routine, whatever it is, write them on your bathroom mirror, whatever it is. Have these affirmations. These are your affirmations. So yes, it can be helpful to get those little, affirmation calendars and you have an affirmation every day. Those are great. Yes, it can be cheesy and cliche, but it really does help with your mindset. But these are even more powerful because you made them and they're based on your limiting beliefs that you're leaving behind. These are your affirmations for the next level version of you in 2025. So write them down, keep them, look at them. Don't just write them down and never look at them again. Write them down, keep them with you, take them with you, and look at them, read them daily. This is really powerful. The new year is a time for fresh starts, right? But real change is going to come from addressing the beliefs that hold us back. That's really what it is. Identifying, challenging, and rewiring those beliefs. By doing all of that, you're really giving yourself the gift of possibility of what is actually possible for you. So thanks for going with me deep into this rewiring conversation about limiting beliefs. And I really hope this episode inspires you to step into 2025 with clarity and confidence and this new renewed sense of excitement and vigor for your goals and intentions and resolutions, if that's what you like to call them. And I also would like to know if you've tried these EFT techniques or these journaling prompts, like tell me about it. Tag me on Instagram. I'm at the Hope Pedraza. Share your progress, share your wins, share your ahas, because I tell you, when you really dig into this energy work, and this is energy work. If you've never done energy work or you always thought it was too woo, like this is it. It's not woo. It's not crazy. It really is just about being intentional with the energy and going into the subconscious. Like that's what this is about. Go into the show notes and download my free gift that I have for y'all. Like I'm really excited about this gift for y'all. It's just this holistic detox. It's body, it's mind, it's soul, it's all of the things. All these tools are so powerful. So go into the show notes and download that. And tag me on Instagram. Share when you're going through these things and any takeaways. And if you don't want to share publicly, send me a DM. I love to hear what comes up for you. Ahas, takeaways, breakthroughs, all the things. Share with me, and I'll see you in the next episode of the series. Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I'd love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I can know how to provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics you'd like to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's at the Hope Pedraza, or you can visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.